Nanjung merely joined the academy's martial exam and left the grandmasters utterly stunned. The masters were shocked out of their wits. With only a tiny amount of ki and blood, he unleashed a strike with grandmaster-level devastation. Even geniuses need a month to reach entry level. Until they saw Nanjung's record, the top human martial grandmaster trembled, vowing to take this monstrous prodigy Nanjung as his disciple. What they didn't know was, in a desperate battle that cornered Nanjung, he was accidentally chosen by a god and granted the mortal martial Dao space system. Any martial art, as long as a clone trains the original inside the martial Dao space, can reach perfect realm in no time. Defeating enemies also grants martial points, which can boost ki and blood and enhance physical talent. Yet just days ago, he was an ordinary martial arts student, talented, but mockingly labeled a dual cultivator. He didn't care. His only goal was to become a martial artist fast and give his aunt and uncle a better life. Since age 3, his parents died in a beast disaster, and his aunt and uncle raised him. Knowing his talent, they gave everything to train him because in a beast-infested world, martial artists earn money fastest. But today after school, he overheard a conversation that shook him. They planned to take extra jobs just to scrape together 30,000 yuan for his martial exam fee. In that moment, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He trained for them, yet burdened them more. He slapped his face to stay calm, then walked in pretending ignorance. He tried to help with plaster work but was shooed off to rest, fearing he was exhausted from training. Lying in bed, he couldn't sleep. Realizing their sacrifices, he knew he couldn't let them suffer. If a martial apprentice wants quick cash, there's only one place, the underground arena. The night passed quickly. Next morning at the underground arena, a female commentator excitedly welcomed everyone to the apprentice ring challenge. No life or death, just victory or defeat. Today's ring holder was Monitor. 4 consecutive wins meant 60,000 yuan. Lose and get nothing. The crowd buzzed. An unknown rookie daring to hold the ring, suicidal. The commentator nudged Suhong to hype things up. Confused at first, he nodded when told to provoke. He dropped a bombshell. Below martial artists, invincible weaklings come up. Boos erupted as everyone waited to see him smashed. As the match began, Suhong grew serious, sensing the thick killing intent dangerous, but perfect for earning tuition fast. Clenching his fists, he figured a few more wins with diamond fists would suffice. A wolf-masked fighter leapt up, sneering, "Cocky brat, ill play with you." Suhong stayed calm, spotting strong momentum but a weak lower stance, an easy win. Sure enough, the man's punch hadn't even finished mid-taunt. Suhong gathered power into his palm and struck cleanly with glimmering palm. One it sent the opponent flying off the ring, no resistance. He raised his hand coolly next. The commentator shouted Minotaur's first victory as the arena exploded in cheers. Before it settled, another wild-haired fighter jumped up confidently, but Suhong just smiled. Gesturing invitingly, he quickly assessed the man's sturdy build, perfect to test diamond fist. The opponent charged without hesitation. Suhong met him calmly, fists collided. The force made the opponent gasp, what monstrous punch strength. But Suhong saw through him. His power was weaker, and overcommitting his upper body exposed his waist. Opportunity strikes. He spun instantly and delivered a precise kick to the weak spot. Same ending as before, the opponent flew off the ring unconscious, leaving the crowd in awe. Suhong glanced down calmly and said next. The commentator nearly screamed. Minotaur had won 2 straight. Upstairs, a brown-haired man observed quietly, noting that though not even half martial, Suhong's strength surpassed normal apprentices. Interesting. After a swift third win, the man concluded Suhong was perfect arena material, strong enough to dominate, weak enough to control. He ordered Bai Hu to recruit him, warning not to reveal his true martial artist status. Below, Suhong clenched his fist. Diamond fist had reached micro-realm, easy against normal apprentices. One more win and 60,000 yuan. Suddenly whispers spread. Bai Hu was stepping up. A half martial fighting. That's cheating. Suhong grew serious. A half martial meant real trouble, but losing wasn't an option. Opposite him, Bai Hu smirked and beckoned, promising to go easy. The signal rang. The final ring match began. Suhong attacked first, unleashing full power from the start. Their fists collided, wind bursting outward. But his arm trembled. Something's wrong. This isn't half martial strength. Bai Hu was a true martial artist, suppressing his ki and blood. Before he could think further, Bai Hu countered with thunder fist combos, smashing into his chest. Each blow struck like lightning, forcing Suhong back in agony. So this is a martial artist's power. The crowd held its breath. 3 thunder fists in a row. Minotaur seemed finished. Bai Hu pressed harder, mocking him for only defending. Forced passive, Suhong knew defeat was near unless he found a counter. One lapse and a fist slammed toward his face. The hit knocked him to the ground, breath chaotic. Consciousness. Bai Hu stepped over him coldly, saying he'd earned nothing this round. But his master wanted him obey, and the prize money remained. A tempting offer at the cost of his principles. Suhong gritted his teeth and firmly refused. Bai Hu's eyes turned icy, then he'd simply cripple him. At that instant, a voice echoed, "Become a martial artist." Suhong jolted up, narrowly dodging a lethal kick. "Bai!" Suhong felt ablaze. "I can't fall here, absolutely not." Even after taking thunder fist blows, he stood again, shocking his opponent. Only his aunt and uncle filled his mind. He must become a martial artist, but not by losing his faith. After a brief hesitation, his gaze hardened. Such a future was unacceptable. A system interface appeared before him. "For family and faith, what price will you pay?" Without hesitation, his aura erupted. His answer, everything. Just as he was about to collapse, the world beneath Suhong shattered, the ring and crowd vanished. He stood stunned in a strange empty void. A colossal shadow appeared, suffocating in pressure. He stammered, asking where he was and who it was. A cold mechanical voice replied, granting him a chance. Golden dust swirled around his body, forming a glowing golden screen before him. Suhong's stats: Keen Blood 85, Spirit 23, Mortal Physique 3, Mission Arena Path, Diamond Fist Micro 7, Glimmering Palm Mastery 35, Void Step Mastery 56, Martial Points 0. Blinking, he realized it displayed his full status and was touchable. Curious, he tapped a mission. Text appeared, Random Mission Arena Path, Beginner Guide. Before he understood, another Suhong appeared and attacked without a word. The punch forced him to duck in panic. Staring back, he realized it was his clone using Diamond Fist, far more refined, textbook perfect. In a flash, Su-hong calmed down. Such a perfect template before him would be a waste not to copy. He counterattacked immediately, observing, mimicking, and adjusting with every clash. At times the clone even grabbed his hand, as if personally tutoring him, terrifying yet enlightening. He quickly retreated to create distance. Glancing at the system panel, Diamond Fist Micro had jumped from 7 to 10 in moments. Clenching his fists, he charged again without hesitation. With each punch and step, Stat Sword Diamond Fist from 50-23, Void Step from 59 to 70. Then a breakthrough Glimmering Palm hit 100, entering Micro Realm, and Void Step soon perfected as well. Finally, Diamond Fist exploded into Great Mastery Realm. After a long battle, he barely defeated his own clone. Panting and grinning through gritted teeth, Su-hong muttered, "Thanks, system." A notification chimed. Mission arena path complete. Rewards issued. Return to reality. He chose yes. In an instant, his consciousness snapped back. Baihu was still charging with curses flying. This time, Su-hong casually sidestepped, voice icy calm, too slow. Before reacting, he took a punch straight to the face. The tiger mask shattered, fragments scattering before the stunned crowd. The arena fell dead silent. Su-hong stood firm, coldly staring at the unconscious opponent, then calmly asked when he'd receive his 60,000 yuan reward as the commentator stammered his victory. Upstairs, the brown-haired man's face darkened. Diamond Fist great mastery. Even many martial artists hadn't reached that. He ordered his men to investigate Su-hong's identity immediately. Leaving the arena, Su-hong entered a dark alley. Soon he sensed he was being followed, eyes sharpening as he sped up. Turning into a blind corner, he vanished completely. The two pursuers arrived to empty space. Panicking, they had orders to uncover his identity at all costs. Unbeknownst to them, Su-hong watched from above, eyes cold. Still want to tail me? Reckless. Under the full moon, the city bathed in pale light. He returned home. So-meng trembled at the stack of cash. Su-hong, did you rob a bank? Su-hong calmly claimed he was coaching at a dojo and the owner supported his training, though Su-yin remained skeptical. He held their hands firmly, asking if they didn't trust him. So-meng laughed. Xiao-hong had never lied. Su-yin beamed proudly. After they slept, Su-hong went alone to the rooftop. Under moonlight, he reflected. Exam fees, rent, and his aunt's medicine were finally covered. Staring at the system interface, he knew it changed everything, yet other stats hand shifted. A notice popped up. Defeated a higher-level opponent. Earned 67 martial points to boost ki and blood and martial ki. Su-hong stared at the number and decided to try it. His gaze fixed on ki and blood. As he allocated points, his body burned, veins boiling, pupils glowing red, power surged wildly. Gasping, he thrilled at 90 ki and blood had reached martial artist standards. His body hardened further, and earlier injuries began healing. Overflowing with strength, he couldn't sit still. Time to test it. Smirking, he leapt across rooftops, heading to the school's training ground with its combat power tester. Moments later, he arrived at the outdoor practice field. Before him stood the massive combat power testing machine. He took a deep breath, set his stance, and decided to test the machine with just 70% power. His lashed fist clenched, he punched straight into the machine with a thunderous bang. Retracting his hand and panting, his face froze. The machine was broken. He stood stunned, then panicked slightly. Was the school going to make him pay for this cheap thing? Suddenly an angry shout rang out. Su-hong bolted instantly. Run first, think later. Elsewhere, Lao Li woke up furious, assuming Chen Shan and Chen Lu had wrecked the tester again. He vowed to teach them a harsh lesson the next day. Monday morning arrived and the gym buzzed as usual. Su-hong whispered to a friend, pointing at a bruised Chen Shan, asking what happened. The friend explained Chen Shan was punished for smashing the test machine and denying it. Su-hong felt a twinge of guilt. It was actually him. Just then, Lala's voice over the mic demanded silence. He announced a special guest, third-grade martial artist Chen Tian, who would teach a crank martial art. Thunder Fist. The room erupted in excitement. Su-hong focused sharply, recalling Baihu's terrifying Thunder Fist. Each punch stacked triple force. This was an opportunity he couldn't miss. Chen Tian stepped up and declared he'd demonstrate 10 times how much they learned was up to them. He explained Thunder Fist emphasized explosive dominance. Entry level produced 1 thunderclap. Mastery 3, Micro 5, Great Mastery 7, Perfection 9. But even entry today would be impressive. He began the second demonstration, telling students to follow along. Hours later, the hall was exhausted. Trank martial arts were brutally hard. Most students admitted they grasped nothing. Suddenly, Chen Shan stood up proudly, claiming entry-level classmates stared in awe. Lao Li introduced him proudly, but Chen Tian scoffed. This barely counts as talent. As they left, one lamented poor students while the other spoke of martial arts cruelty. No talent, no hope. Then thunderous booms echoed ahead. Boom, boom, boom. They stopped instantly. Chen Tian shouted in shock. 7 thunderclaps. Someone reached great mastery. Lao Li was stunned. Half a day of teaching couldn't produce that. Yet more thunder roared. Lao Li trembled. 9 thunderclaps. Chen Tian froze, realization dawning. His eyes, he clenched his fists and unleashed Thunder Fist. 8 thunderclaps erupted. He laughed and break through joy. The earlier sound pushed him to a new realm. But he quickly turned serious. Find that student now. They rushed over only to find the place empty. Meanwhile, Su-hong walked the streets alone, sighing. Crank arts drained far more stamina than drank Diamond Fist, but Thunder Fist had reached perfection. Checking the system, Ki and Blood 91.7, Spirit 23, Thunder Fist perfection, Diamond Fist great mastery, yet martial points remained 0. Without a life or death fight could he even earn more. Thinking that, Su-hong headed back to Furious Thunder Dojo where he worked. Inside, the training atmosphere was as lively as ever. A brown-haired youth greeted him. Su-hong smiled, saying he just came to loosen up. Before he went far, he saw a male student kicked to the ground. The attacker was Li Yan, sneering that poor talent shouldn't blame the teacher. Su-hong frowned and learned a new instructor had arrived, strong but arrogant, and Li Yan was his powerful disciple. Just then Li Yan raised his fist aggressively, daring someone to challenge him. Without a word, Su-hong stepped forward and grabbed his arm. Eyes cold, he warned him to take it outside. Li Yan roared, demanding a ring duel. Su-hong calmly agreed, but the instructor stormed in, shouting for order. Li Yan backed off, muttering that Su-hong was lucky. Su-hong watched him leave, thinking the guy was unbearably arrogant. The instructor announced this was the final lesson of Furious Sea Spear, and had only demonstrate once, doubting anyone could learn it. He performed swiftly movements like raging waves, then stopped abruptly, saying whatever they grasped was their business. He casually tossed the spear down, and left, abandoning the stunned class. Complaints erupted. How could anyone learn from that? Yet Su-hong's eyes were different. Every motion was replaying clearly in his mind. He grasped the core like a flood dragon skimming the sea, endless and layered like surging tides. Without hesitation, he picked up the spear and practiced faint green energy, soon wrapped the tip as his moves flowed smoothly. The boys gaped. Had he seriously learned it? The noise drew Lian back, barking to see who succeeded. Pushing in, his eyes changed upon seeing Su-hong. Had he really mastered it? Interest sparked. He decided to test Su-hong's level. He offered to guide him in spear technique. Others warned him not to risk it, but he reassured them and stepped forward. Holding the spear steady, he invited instruction. Lian retreated, then burst forth with Furious Sea Spear at micro-realm, thrusting like crashing waves. As the spear tid, Su-hong exhaled softly, shifting like calm water. His spear flowed seamlessly, relentless as the sea. Lian froze mid-strike, realizing in shock this wasn't micro, it was mastery. Su-hong murmured Furious Sea Spear mastery and swung hard. The spears clashed with a deafening crack, shockwaves rippling out. Lian staggered back in disbelief. Su-hong hadn't even become a martial artist yet. A cold golden glint flashed in Su-hong's eyes. With a wrist twist, he knocked Lian's spear flying. The system cham defeated higher-level opponent, 35 martial points. Su-hong instantly understood even normal sparring could earn martial points. He just needed constant battles from now on. Lian collapsed to his knees, muttering in disbelief that how on earth could Furious Sea Spear art be mastered that insanely fast. His eyes flared with rage and bitterness, wondering what the heck all his years of grinding were even for. Losing his cool, he charged forward to risk it all again. But a stern voice thundered down, ordering him to stop right there. Yuan had appeared out of nowhere, standing beside them with an icy stare. Without wasting a word, he slapped Lian dizzy and scolded him for not even daring to face defeat like a true martial artist. Lian stood there stunned, brain still loading what just happened. Yuan glanced at the knocked-away spear, shocked that Su-hong mastered it after one look, something even top-tier prodigies might fail to pull off. Sighing inwardly, he pressed Lian's head down, thinking the boy was talented but too arrogant, then apologized to Su-hong for today's mess. Su-hong watched the man flip attitudes like a book page and silently admired the veteran-level crisis control. Night fell over the city as Su-hong walked home, tired but satisfied with the day's hefty gains. He checked the system panel, having learned Thunderbolt Fist and Furious Sea Spear art while stacking martial Dao points like a champ. Thinking about the upcoming exam, his gaze dimmed. Rich kids had premium alloy weapons, and he had air. Clenching his fist, he decided since he'd bonded with the spear, he needed an alloy-long spear ASAP. One glance at the price list made him chuckle bitterly. His money barely covered medicine, let alone fancy gear. He sighed, wondering if there was any faster way to make cash. Right then, the system alerted him wild beasts were surging outside Xingcheng, and the city lord was recruiting martial artists with juicy rewards. Su-hong paused, eyes wavering. Hunting beasts outside the city was no joke. Night blanketed everything in darkness. In their small house, Su-yun brewed medicine for Su-meng while scolding him for risking his life when Xiao-hong had already given money, but Su-meng argued he had to save up while he still could. Just then, the door opened and Su-hong greeted them. Su-meng instantly beamed at his return. Su-hong took over the medicine from Su-yun, insisting she rest while she grumbled that the stubborn kid never listened. Carefully applying the medicine on Su-meng's back, Su-hong gently said he could earn money now and told him to stop overworking, but Su-meng laughed it off, claiming he couldn't sit idle. Su-meng added confidently they'd only do light work for living expenses and wouldn't push himself. Su-yun smiled, saying Xiao-hong would need tons of money for martial arts training, so any help saved a bit. Hearing that, Su-hong fell silent, feeling the weight. Unless he earned enough for them to live easy, they'd never stop struggling. His eyes hardened. He absolutely couldn't miss this beast hunt. On the balcony, Su-hong opened the system panel and calculated carefully. If the wilderness was deadly, he had to get stronger. His vitality was at 95, just one step away from becoming a true martial artist. 2 days later in the school training room, Su-hong lay sprawled on the floor, panting after grinding all his martial skills to the perfection realm. Sweat soaked his body, but his eyes gleamed. It was time to leave the city. Saturday morning at the Xingcheng martial artist base, Su-hong finally arrived, relieved by the long trip's end. As he walked, he looked around, having only seen this place on TV before. Martial artists strode everywhere, their aura completely different from ordinary folks. He checked the price board. Ordinary beasts were 300 blue star coins, early tier beasts 1,000, mid-tier through high tier 5,000. Reading the rules made Su-hong grimace. After killing a beast, you had to chop off its left hand as proof, or no cash. Talk about primitive. Just then, a burly man dropped a bag on the counter to cash in, and Su-hong guessed it was stuffed with beast ears. Suddenly, a cocky group barged in, shouting for everyone to move aside. Yi Xiao had arrived. Su-hong glanced over their outfits and swagger, screamed the same vibe as Bai He's crew. He stayed silent while others whispered that if Ye Xiao's uncle wasn't in charge here, he'd have been schooled long ago. Rumor said he'd already been beaten once. Su-hong listened quietly as the chatter faded. Ye Xiao's eyes suddenly met his, loaded with open provocation. Su-hong didn't dodge, only shot back an icy stare, then turned and left, reminding himself that humans were as dangerous as beasts. At the gate, a guard frowned at his age, asking if this was his first solo trip into the wild. Seeing Su-hong's calm face, the guard shook his head. Another fearless kid. Without a word, Su-hong stepped past the gate onto the green grass, staring at the vast forest ahead. His eyes firming with resolve. This time he'd return loaded with spoils. 2 hours passed, yet the forest stayed eerily quiet as Su-hong waited. Standing under a tree, he frowned. Not a single beast in sight. Had the outer zone been cleared out? Thinking that, he sped deeper inside without hesitation. Suddenly, he froze mid-step. His instinct screamed danger. From behind a massive tree, a hulking shadow emerged, red eyes locking onto him. Su Hong steadied his breath and took a fighting stance. An early tier stage 1 beast, the nether blue wolf, his first real-life encounter. The monster roared, baring fangs before lunging forward, its giant claws slicing through the air straight at Su Hong. The nether blue wolf charged like a speeding truck. Su Hong reacted on instinct, lowering his center and sidestepping the lethal swipe in a split second. Not giving it time to recover, lightning sparked around his clenched fist like a living serpent. He dashed into the opening and unleashed a heavy thunderbolt fist, smashing the beast's abdomen with a dull boom and blasting it away. The wolf crashed hard and lay still. Su Hong stood coldly watching it. His hand trembled not from fear but from a raw, primal thrill far beyond imagination. A thought formed: if he could one-shot an early tier stage 1 beast, what about mid-tier? As that idea flashed, killing intent erupted behind him. A mid-tier stage 1 berserk black bear lunged like a ghost. Yet before it could strike, an unseen force slammed it down lifeless. Su Hong calculated that as long as he avoided second-tier beasts, he'd survive fine. He dragged the bear's paws loot, smirking. 3,000 star coins, not bad. When the system notification popped up, joy flashed in his eyes. He had finally broken through to martial artist. But before he could celebrate, a terrifying explosion shook the earth in the distance. Su Hong snapped his head toward it, sensing something far from ordinary. Without hesitation, he rushed toward the source and found a clearing wrecked like a battlefield. He leapt onto a huge rock to survey the scene. His pupils shrank sharp. A colossal black python coiled at the center, its endless body like a living nightmare. Martial artists were flung aside one after another, none able to stand against it. The moment Su Hong saw it, every nerve in his body went on full alert. But the giant python had already noticed him too. It roared and whipped its tail straight at his rock. The strike was too fast and heavy, though Su Hong blocked instantly. The shockwave blasted him away. Blood spilled from his lips and splattered the ground red. He staggered up, eyes sweeping over the fallen martial artists scattered around. Wiping the blood from his mouth, he knew there was no retreat. Spotting a long spear beside a corpse, he picked it up calmly, saying, borrowing this for a bit, amid the deadly battlefield. Su Hong stepped out to face the colossal python head in no fear, no hesitation. The monster lunged instantly, jaws wide with icy fangs ready to crush everything. He dodged coolly, mind-racing. Soloing a late-stage first-tier beast meant no instant kill without teamwork. But he wasn't the same as before. Kicking off a tree trunk, Su Hong launched into the air. Twisting flawlessly mid-air, he scanned the python from above, definitely beatable as his long spear trembled. Power compressed or exploding, the furious sea spear art ignited. One piercing thrust ripped through the air and stabbed deep into the python's belly. Its furious roar shook the entire forest. Yet Su Hong didn't pause, landing smoothly. He spun around, yanked out the spear and moved like a shadow, denying it any chance to react. Second strike, third strike, spear shadows tore repeatedly through its massive body. The giant python began spiraling into chaos. Even while attacking, he calculated the size gap was huge. He had to whittle it down and find a fatal opening. Suddenly its colossal tail swept toward him. Gritting his teeth, Su Hong blasted it with thunderbolt fist, lightning slamming into the tail. The impact forced it to recoil in an instant. He retreated, panting, eyes never leaving his target. The giant python was weakening, just as he tightened his grip on the spear to finish it. A terrifying new pressure crashed in from behind. Su Hong spun around in alarm. A large figure leapt from a boulder, killing intent icy as it charged him. He raised his arm to block, but the collision sent him flying backward. Pain surged through his body, his gaze turning frost-cold. The python wasn't done, and now he had ambushers behind him. A group approached, their leader sneering, fancy meeting again. Hand over the black jade giant python, how about it? Ye Xiao's crew blocked Su Hong's path. Ye Xiao smirked, saying he'd thought Su Hong would die alone outside the city. Yet luck favored him, not only alive but it heavily wounded the black jade giant python, now barely breathing. Su Hong calculated they thought it merely stumbled on it. 5 martial artists meant strength in numbers, so no frontal clash. Chen Quan charged with a punch, shouting that Ye Xiao wanted the python and Su Hong should scram. Su Hong's face anger surged. Had only been pushed back earlier due to a sneak attack. Did they really think he couldn't fight them? Clenching his fist, he unleashed a punch that blocked Chen Quan's strike. Chen Quan staggered back in shock at the sheer force. Su Hong pressed on relentlessly, smashing another punch straight into his face. The mask shattered, teeth flying. Chen Quan collapsed before Ye Xiao. Ye Xiao sneered, recognizing the perfected diamond fist, so it really was that bullhead. Su Hong froze briefly by who flashed in his mind. Ye Xiao covered his face angrily, furious at being embarrassed in public. Then he pointed and ordered, kill him. Su Hong gripped his long spear tightly. He sprang upward onto the cliffside forest. The group chased after him, spreading out warily in the dense woods. Mingyu scoffed, they had numbers, why fear one guy? Right then, Su Hong appeared behind him like a gust of wind. Mingyu turned only to meet eyes sharp as blades. One sweeping spear slash, blood sprayed everywhere. Mingyu dropped unconscious and Ye Xiao's face changed. How's he that fast? They quickly regrouped. Someone trembled, whispering it was Thunderbolt Fist at 9 echoes. Even third-tier martial artists might not perfect it. Sweat streamed down Ye Xiao's face as he muttered that perfected Diamond Fist and perfected Thunderbolt Fist together were impossible. From high in a tree, Su Hong observed if not for the heavy vitality drain from fighting the python, he'd have crushed them outright. He hurled the spear into the ground. Now he had to split them up and pick them off. The spear stabbed into the earth, startling the group. In that instant, Su Hong dove down. He grabbed one man's head and smashed it into the ground, then kicked him square in the face. The man blacked out instantly. Wen Kai panicked, urging Ye Xiao to retreat because Su Hong was too strong. Ye Xiao roared that there'd be no running today. He would kill Su Hong. Su Hong moved through the treetops like a phantom, charging into the gap between two enemies. Su Hong yanked Wen Kai's head down, knocking him out cold. Ye Xiao grew tenser just days apart, and Su Hong had leveled up like crazy. Su Hong flickered in and out behind him like a glitching ghost. Ye Xiao spun around but saw nothing. Then icy eyes appeared behind him, gripping the spear. Su Hong muttered, your turn. Ye Xiao sensed it too and gathered power, refusing to admit defeat. He unleashed shattering finger blasting force that snapped tree trunks. Su-hong ducked. Finger blasts rained wildly, yet he dodged every single one. Su-hong frowned. Serious power, at least a rank martial skill. Ye Xiao screamed that he'd remember Su-hong's face and wipe out his entire family. The moment those words fell, Su-hong's aura-turned-murderous family was off limits. No more chatter, fists clenched. Power surged as he said coldly he preferred Ye Xiao's old arrogant look. One punch crashed down. Ye Xiao couldn't react, blasted off the cliff edge, blood spraying as he slammed below. Su-hong walked forward slowly, killing intent blazing. Threatening his family was the real mistake. Ye Xiao could believe Su-hong was this strong. Before dying, he roared, demanding to know what kind of monster Su-hong was. His words ended as the giant python's tail smashed down on him. The beast then turned toward Su-hong, who grimaced. Wasting time on those fools had let it fully recover. Ye Xiao's lackeys staggered back. Lu Hao cursed while Wen Kai panted, asking if Ye Xiao had finished Su-hong. Suddenly Mingyu heard movement. Su-hong shot forward. Mingyu raised his axe, roaring, while Chenji vowed revenge. But before they could strike, they froze. A giant python lunged behind Su-hong. Su-hong sidestepped the bite. Chenji and Li Shen weren't so lucky. Swallowed whole. The system chimed in direct defeat of martial artists, 30 martial Dao points. Mingyu was smashed into a tree by the tail and died. Another 30 points. Su-hong blinked at the unexpected bonus. He hadn't expected farming points like this to be possible. No time to dwell. The python charged again midair. He calculated that his martial Dao points were enough for a breakthrough if he found safety. His eyes lit up at the sight of a cave ahead. He dashed inside with the python right on his heels. It rammed the entrance, rocks exploding everywhere. Its head jammed into the opening and got stuck. Fangs bared. It roared outside while Su-hong sat deeper inside. Ignoring the noise, he opened the system. Su-hong, Vitality 96, Spirit 23, Mortal Body 3, Furious Sea Spear Art Perfection, Thunderbolt Fist Perfection, Diamond Fist Perfection, Air Step Perfection, Martial Dao points 504. He dumped all points into Vitality, urging it faster as heat engulfed him. It felt like molten lava surged through his veins, red light blazing around him. Even the python outside paused, sensing the rising pressure. Su-hong opened his eyes. Breakthrough to first-tier martial artist, finally legit. An invisible force wrapped around his arm. Watching the python retreat, he said coldly, now it's my turn. Bursting from the cave, he punched straight out. The explosive force launched the python's body upward, blood spraying. He didn't stop. Diamond Fist slammed down again. The python shrieked and whipped its tail in counterattack. Gritting his teeth, Su-hong blocked. Blood churning inside him, yet his eyes grew sharper. Grabbing a nearby tree trunk, he roared and brought it down. The strike hit hard, force erupting as blue light tore through the air. The python screamed in agony. Golden lightning erupted over Su-hong. Thunderbolt Fist. He dashed in and smashed its head with the final blow. A thunderous boom echoed as the python's body twisted grotesquely. It collapsed, standing atop it and panting. Su-hong earned 92 martial Dao points. Beating it head-on was a huge leap. He bent to loot but paused. No ears to collect. Oh well. His gaze shifted to Ye Xiao's motionless body. Walking over, he said flatly that this ending was merciful. Searching the corpse, he pulled out a book. A high-level martial skill manual. Just as night fell. Outside the cave, the massive corpse blocked the entrance, leaving only a thin crack where firelight flickered in. Su-hong sat cross-legged and began absorbing the technique like a diligent monk. With a shattering void finger, his mind sank into the simulation space as a shadow lunged at him. Su-hong tilted aside, counterattacked, and fired off another shattering void finger. A streak of light pierced through, and he coughed blood from the corner of his mouth, eyes darkening. No wonder it was a rank martial skill. A few days later, deep in the forest, a giant bear roared and charged. Su-hong stood still to test its true might. Shattering void finger, boom. The bear collapsed. Great mastery achieved. Perfection unlocked. Time to head back. The martial artist base was in utter chaos. All elite beasts, 72 early stage, A3 mid stage, 17 high stage, total bounty 406 though. Standing in the crowd, Su-hong looked calm but sighed inside. Maybe he overdid it when an explosion from the central building signaled the base was under attack. Ye Ti appeared with vicious eyes, sealing the exit so no one could flee. Ye Feng was killed along with 4 martial artists, stunning the entire crowd. Su-hong sat in a car, eyes icy just as expected it had begun. Ye Ti strode through the crowd and finally fixed his gaze on Su-hong. He approached, voice low, heard you earned 400,000 alone, pretty capable, huh? Ye Ti sneered at Su-hong, while Huoyu mocked that an early stage rookie couldn't possibly kill that many beasts. His barely early stage 1, how could he manage that? Must have stolen young master. Yes, loot, search him? 2 men in black advanced, fists glowing. With cold stares they warned, kid, don't resist, or we won't be polite. Suddenly a chilling spear tip appeared before them, freezing the man in shock. What are you doing? He was rattled. He could even see how Su-hong thrust the spear. Su-hong replied calmly, I'm a student of Xingcheng No 1 High. Do you really want to search me? Ye Ti hesitated. That principal was famous for protecting students, not someone to offend. If the boy truly hunted that many beasts, he was a genius. Provoking him would be costly. Ye Ti softened his tone, claiming his nephew was attacked and a family martial skill stolen. Hope you cooperate. Su-hong met his gaze. Just don't wrong the innocent. Ye Ti offered 10,000 as compensation. Su-hong firmly demanded 30,000, mentally calculated. Ye Feng had died under the giant python's hand. As long as they didn't find the martial skill, no one could trace it to him. Ye Ti agreed and ordered a full search. They checked Su-hong and his belongings. He even coldly reminded them to search carefully to avoid false accusations. Finding nothing, Ye Ti sighed and paid 30,000. Su-hong smiled, recalling he had burned the book to ashes. Lucky cleanup, he thought, or today would have been troublesome as he left. Ye Ti shouted that no one could leave without clearing suspicion. Su-hong decided to shower, change clothes, then head to the Martial Artist Association for assessment. He needed official qualification fast. Soon in a base-in room, Su-hong sat on the bed. Opening the system panel, he muttered his 534 martial point stats showed Su-hong Q-Blood 1 of 3, Spirit 23, Mortal Body 6, skills all at perfection. Early stage 1 required 100 Q-Blood, mid-stage 200, spending all points could raise over 50, just 40 more to reach mid-stage, but Spirit and Physique hadn't been tested. He tried boosting Spirit first as the system added points. Su-hong frowned. No obvious change yet. Overall strength subtly rose soon. Stats became Q Blood 123, Spirit 26.5, Mortal Body 36.1, all skills perfect, martial points delay. Su-hong nodded and stopped increasing physique there, pouring the rest into Q Blood and Spirit. Power surged through him, muscles bulging before settling back to normal. He sighed in relief. That bulky form would have been hard to explain. An hour later at the Xingcheng Martial Artists Association, Su-hong approached the desk. "Hello, I'm here for the martial artist assessment," and the receptionist smiled, saying someone would guide him shortly. Sin grins at Tu-hong, teasing that at his age this must be his first martial exam, warning he needs 100 vital blood and over 1,000 combat power to pass. Tu-hong thanks him while two bystanders whisper that a kid showing up solo without even a master is probably just gambling on luck. They mock his youth, doubting he's serious about becoming a martial artist. The testing machine hums as one candidate scores 1 and 2 vital blood and 992 combat power just shy of passing. The failed guy curses his rotten luck for missing it by a hair. Next up, Liming scores 1 and 5 vital blood and passes the first round. He then punches the machine and racks up 163 combat power. The examiner confirms 763 points. Crowd gasps as he nears mid-stage tier 1. People praise him as a genius from Guangming Martial Hall, while Tu-hong wonders how many disciples that place even has. He recalls Lian and questions how many students that old master is hiding. Liming smirks at Tu-hong, clearly thinking this kid is delusional. But suddenly the crowd erupts in shock. They suspect the vital blood meter is broken, it's displaying an absurd number. The examiner announces Tu-hong vital blood 123 pass. Liming is rattled but tells himself combat power matters more. Though shaken, Liming clings to the belief that strength decides everything. Tu-hong steps up for combat power testing, calculating that as a true martial artist with boosted physique, 40-50 strength should suffice. He decides to use half his power, better safe than sorry. Tu-hong throws a decisive boom. The machine is blasted backward into the wall. The hall falls silent, then explodes in chaos. Liming gapes as Tu-hong seemingly didn't even use a martial technique. Onlookers panic, noting even high-stage tier 1 fighters only reach about 3,000 points. This is monstrous. Upstairs, a young man trembles, calling Tu-hong an absolute freak. The man behind him narrows his eyes, unsurprised it's him after all. Elsewhere inside an office, Lin Shun scrolls her phone, annoyed that Yangcheng keeps producing prodigies while her branch risks losing status. A young man bursts in, shouting that a monster appeared in the martial exam. A beginner-tier martial artist used pure muscle to smash the machine, scoring 3,000 combat power. Scene shifts to the Martial Arts Association hall where Tu-hong has just arrived. A staff member offers to escort him upstairs to register officially and claim his subsidy. Everything seems routine until a cold female voice slices through the air. A sharp-eyed woman leans over the railing. One sentence freezes the staff. The branch president has personally intervened. She is Wu Lingxian, president of the Xingcheng Martial Arts Association branch, a legendary level 5 martial artist whose quiet aura commands respect. Without hesitation, Wu Lingxian calls Tu-hong by name and orders him to follow. In her private office, the noise fades, leaving only Wu Lingxian and Tu-hong facing off. Wu Lingxian shows clear irritation toward Principal Le Chengshan for hiding a prodigy like Tu-hong. Tu-hong, still dazed, realizes being summoned by the president over simple registration is anything but normal. She reveals all paperwork and subsidies are handled. What truly interests her is Tu-hong himself. The topic shifts to Daoyin technique. Tu-hong thought it was merely absorbing T&D spiritual energy for cultivation, but Wu Lingxian hints it's far more. A small flame ignites in her palm, not for show, but proof that Daoyin technique can transform spiritual energy into real combat power. Once spiritual energy gains attributes, it can code attacks or even be projected outward to extend range and amplify damage. For ordinary martial artists, even brushing against one attribute is tough, but for Tu-hong, this story is about to go off script. Wu Lingxian brings out a crystal orb to test attribute compatibility. Normal folks score only 20-30. Even she, a certified genius, hit just 80, but she bets Tu-hong will break 90. The moment he touches the orb, it erupts in blinding light. Fire attribute 100, 0 loss, perfect absorption. Tu-hong barely processes it before Wu Lingxian visibly loses her cool. Because 100 means flawless fire, spiritual energy controls something even she never achieved. This isn't a genius, it's a monster. She explains that her 80 still leaks some energy, yet it carried her to level 5 in the presidency. Now she's certain Tu-hong will surpass her. How did tiny Xingcheng spawn a freak rivaling talents from Modu or Dinjing? Tu-hong studies the crystal, thinking fire is nice, but he actually prefers thunder. The orb instantly shifts from red blaze to blinding gold lightning, crackling as if freezing the air. Both fall silent for a few long seconds. Tu-hong awkwardly mutters that his thunder attribute also seems to be 100. Wu Lingxian's composure finally cracks. Dual fire and thunder at perfection is beyond genius. But the shocks keep coming as every other attribute lights up at 100, turning her face pale. She collapses into her chair, like someone who just witnessed reality glitch. Once hailed as a rare prodigy who reached level 5 before 30, she now sees the true gap. Some beings simply can't be measured by normal standards. Meanwhile, Tu-hong faces a dilemma. 7 attributes at 100, picking one waste talent. Mastering all sounds suicidal. He bluntly asks if he can learn all 7 Douyin techniques. Wu Lingxian objects immediately. Humans have limits, even geniuses cap at 2, and one fool who tried 7 got stuck at level 1 for decades. Tu-hong refuses to rush hell test them all first, despite her warning not to ruin his gift with greed. She then reveals rising tensions on the battlefield of the Myriad Heavens. War between the 10,000 races and humanity could erupt anytime, prompting nations to build genius training camps. If Tu-hong wins first place in the upcoming grand exam, she'll personally recommend him. Memories of losing his family in the last Great War resurface. His fists clenched. He vows to grow strong enough to protect those he has left. Time passes as Tu-hong returns home. He shows his martial artist card to his uncle and aunt, calm but glowing with pride. So Meng's hands tremble. His nephew has truly stepped onto the martial path. Tu-hong smiles, saying the monthly subsidy means his uncle can rest easier now. In that moment, he isn't just a nephew, as the pillar of the family. Night falls and Tu-hong trains atop the roof. When he opens his eyes, light flickers within them. He throws a punch, flames bursting briefly before fading. Only a thin wisp of smoke remains. It's merely beginner-level Daoyan technique, shockingly weak in power. Checking his system panel, he notices a new entry, Daoyan technique level 1. That sparks a thought: if there's a level, can it be upgraded? Wu Lingxian never mentioned such a thing. A realization dawns: perhaps only he can level up the Daoyan technique. Tu Hong stares at his system panel. Baffled, can he just dump martial points to upgrade Daoyan technique like before?
No clue.
He shelves the mystery and decides to train the remaining Daoyan techniques first. Sitting amid piles of books, he draws in streams of red orange, blue, earthy yellow, and swirling wind energy. Within an hour, thunder, marsh water, heavy earth, and spirit wind Daoyan all hit level 1, but the 7 spiritual energies inside him start fighting like sworn enemies. Tu Hong frowns, realizing he can only use one attribute at a time. Forcing 2 makes them clash and cancel out. He tries fusing thunder and fire, supposedly compatible, but the moment they touch, chaos erupts. The lightning flickers and the flame fizzles out instantly. Gritting his teeth, unwilling to quit, he tries again and again. Over and over until dawn breaks. Drenched in sweat and gasping, he feels this attempt is different. With a roar, he forcefully compresses the 2 energies together. The flame stabilizes, golden lightning crackling within opposing forces finally merges one. He collapses, exhausted, but laughing. An all-night grind finally paid off. Without delay, Tu Hong heads out to test the result. Facing a level 3 combat power machine, he throws a punch using just 30 strength. The display shocks even him over 300 points. A sliver of thunder is already monstrous. Then he tests Thunderfire Fusion and the number blasts past 3000. At only 30 power, he reaches high stage tier 1 strength despite Vital Blood barely over 120 growth. That's downright absurd. Staring at his fist, he turns serious. This is just 2 attributes. What if he fuses all 7? The thought alone feels heavy. Back on the rooftop, he attempts a triply tribute fusion. No matter how he tries, there's 0 progress. Lying flat and panting, he wonders if upgrading Daoyan technique would ease fusion, but there's no time. Tomorrow is the monthly exam. To grow stronger, he needs more martial points. The next morning, students gather on the field, buzzing louder than ever. The principal announces rising war tensions and new genius training camps. Top 3 in the grand exam earn entry. The campus erupts. Everyone knows this is a life-changing chance. While others burn with ambition, Tu Hong sighs. Since top 3 qualify, why is he required to take first place? A classmate whispers that Chen Shan and Li Tu have broken through to tier 1, and many mastered beginner Thunder Fist in under 10 days. The landscape shifted fast. Yet Tu Hong stays calm no matter their growth. They're no longer on his level still. He learns Chen Tian has been privately coaching talents, and Chen Shan and Li Tu can already unleash Thunder Fist with 3 EQs. Chen Shan publicly provokes, vowing to prove his number 1, while Li Tu coldly threatens to smash that arrogance flat. As tension spikes, Chen Tian asks Lao Li if found the mysterious 9HO Thunder Fist user. Lao Li admits failure, even suspecting the person isn't from No. 1 high. Suddenly, a group appears from behind. Lao Li freezes as Zhang Nan arrives with 2 disciples, instantly mocking him as a fleeing old man. Annoyed, Lao Li demands his purpose. Zhang Nan casually claims he's visiting an old friend, flaunts 2 new disciples, and proposes that after the grand exam, the top students from both sides duel. Lao Li instantly senses trouble. Refusing Zhang Nan's proposal would mean admitting his school has no worthy fighter. Zhang Nan keeps mocking. Chen Tian bristles, and just as tension peaks, Li Yan whispers in Zhang Nan's ear, instantly changing his expression as he scans the students. The moment he spots Tu Hong in the crowd, his face darkens. He curses inwardly, so that freak belongs to No. 1 high. If his own disciples face Tu Hong, they'll lose spectacularly. In a blink, Zhang Nan switches tone, laughing it off as a joke and claiming his students can't compare. Li Ming and Li Yan quickly echo surrender. The teachers are furious yet speechless, knowing it's a trick but unable to call it out. The loudspeaker announced No. 665 Shenping versus No. 66 Tu Hong. Tu Hong's friends panic. His first opponent is already quasi-martial artist level. They urge him not to overdo it. On the field, Chen Ping taunts Tu Hong to surrender or be smashed flat. Before he finishes, Tu Hong vanishes. In a blink, he appears, grabs Chen Ping's jaw and slams him into the ground cleanly. The stands fall silent. His friends stare wide-eyed. He's leveled up absurdly in days. Tu Hong stands calmly, as if one-shotting a quasi-martial artist was just casual stretching. The crowd erupts again as he keeps winning effortlessly. Has he already entered the martial artist realm? The atmosphere peaks as the finals arrive. Tu Hong, now the center of attention. Chen Tian squints, sensing something familiar. Lao Li feels heavy with regret for overlooking such a seedling before. Meanwhile, the semifinal between Chen Shan and Li Tu heats up fast. They clash evenly, fists colliding like rolling thunder. Chen Shan erupts with fire attribute external release, but Li Tu scoffs and counters with a relentless barrage. When Li Tu's Thunder Fist hits 5 echoes, the tide swings decisively. Chen Shan is crushed, barely able to react. Chen Tian and Lao Li conclude that with metal attribute and master level Thunder Fist, Li Tu holds the edge. Tu Hong lacks visible Daoyan technique use. Yet someone boldly voices absolute faith in Tu Hong, heightening the tension. The final officially begins. Li Tu steps up arrogantly, claiming Tu Hong got lucky and that first place was always his. He immediately unleashes full power Faicho Thunder Fist. The audience expects an instant finish, but Tu Hong doesn't dodge. He stands still. He clenches his fist and meets the attack head-on. Their fists collide with a thunderous blast. Both are pushed back, neither yielding. The fight turns into a high-speed exchange, punches and footwork blurring before the crowd. Li Tu grows horrified as Tu Hong neutralizes all 5 layers of Thunder Fist power effortlessly, using no martial skill, just raw physique and reflexes, yet matching and even overpowering him. The audience realizes Tu Hong is matching a high-level martial skill with pure physical power alone. Spin-chilling stuff. Chen Tian's eyes gleam, suspecting a rare special physique, while Lao Li laughs proudly in the stands. Still, Li Tu holds the edge with attribute power, a true combat gap make. They clash again, the force blasting both backward. Li Tu steadies himself, icy and sharp, roaring that only he can win. He charges again, momentum exploding as if to crush Tu Hong outright. Tu Hong smirks. Had planned to test his physique limits, but since Li Tu's gone Alan, no need to hold back. Stepping forward, his aura shifts, calm voice. Heavy pressure, since you're serious, it'll show some sincerity too. He throats. Thunder erupts, Li Tu freezes in shock. Tu Hong can externalize attributes too. Chen Tian nearly leaps up, loudly pales. This isn't ordinary release, it's thunder, the most destructive attribute. The air thickens as they collide again, every impact terrifying. After only a few exchanges, Li Tu feels the gap. Tu Hong's thunder completely suppresses his metal, smashing through defenses. Tu Hong smiles faintly, golden light flickering in his eyes. I've seen your trump card. Now mine. The next second, power detonates. With a thunderous boom, Li Tu is blasted away, body slamming into the ground. Face twisted, one thought screams in his mind, 9 EQs, how is that possible? Tu Hong doesn't stop, another punch crashes down, forcing Li Tu to spit blood. The arena falls silent for a heartbeat, then erupts like a tsunami. Naniko Thunder Fist, perfect realm, something even teachers struggle with, displayed by a student. Chen Tian stands frozen, finally realizing this is the mysterious genius he sought. Lao Li roars with pride, this isn't a genius, but the dragon of Xingcheng no Puan Hai, and mocks that elite camp prodigies might face a rude awakening. Amid deafening cheers, Tu Hong quietly walks away, whispers, follow a golden scale, once stay in upon forever. Xingcheng is only his starting line, beyond Lai Modu, Dinjiang, even the battlefield of the myriad races. At sunset, Tu Hong enters home and calls out warmly. In the kitchen, Su Meng turns and eagerly asks about the result. Hearing he took first place, pride beams across his face, especially when Tu Hong confirms entry to the genius training camp. The warmth shatters with a sudden knock at the door. A woman bluntly offers money to buy Tu Hong's training camp slot. She lays down 30,000 yuan, her condescending tone worse than the cash, implying their family lacks the qualifications. Su Yun grows anxious, but Su Meng calmly asks one thing, can Tu Hong protect himself? Tu Hong answers without hesitation, eyes sharp and resolute. That was all it took for him to instantly side with Su Hong, shut the woman down, and slam the door on her exit. Behind the closed door, it wasn't about money but trust, and when Su Hong tried warning them of the dangers, Su Meng just laughed it off and promised full family backing. Su Yun chimed in half-jokingly, saying rankings didn't matter, just come home in one piece. Those simple words eased Su Hong's heart, and though he only nodded, his resolve quietly leveled up. Night fell, leaving him alone on the rooftop. Thinking of their support and their hidden worry, Su Hong swore he absolutely couldn't afford to fail. Opening the system panel, he saw his 285 martial points weren't nearly enough for a big breakthrough, and from here on, every step would be hardcore mode. Staring at the panel, Su Hong wondered what terrifying trump cards those training camp prodigies were hiding. He dumped points into physique, and his body instantly felt crushed from inside out as red stats ticked upward with bone-deep pressure. When it stopped, Su Hong was drenched in sweat, realizing he was nearing his limit, and beyond that lay total mystery. Before he could rest, he froze. His Dian technique had auto-leveled. No rare conditions, no extra resources, just normal training, and boom, breakthrough. A bold idea sparked, and he dove back into non-stop cultivation, determined to be stronger before entering camp. Hong opened his eyes, gaze sharper than ever. The system showed another Dian technique level up and a clear rise in ki and blood, leaving even him impressed. One night, one pricey upgrade before he left, Su Yun anxiously reminded him to stay safe. So Meng acted tough, urging him to grab the top spot, and Su Hong simply nodded and left. He didn't see Su Wen's misty eyes or Su Meng's trembling hands, both hiding their fear so it would burden him. Stepping onto the street, Su Hong felt a quiet heaviness in his chest. It vanished fast when a flashy red supercar screeched to a stop before him. Inside sat Wu Lingxian, cool as ever, giving a single command, get in. The car sped down empty roads, the silence inside oddly thick. Su Hong broke the silence, but the reply made the mood instantly serious. The training camp gathered true monsters from just one step from becoming level 2 martialists. And their martial skills, minimum high tier, no freebies here. Su Hong stayed calm, calculating maybe lacking ki and resources, but with his learning speed and system, he had the ultimate cheat code. His eyes hardened with resolve as he simply said thanks, the determination crystal clear. Wu Lingxian silently evaluated him, noting that the scariest trait wasn't talent but mindset, and in that, Su Hong outclassed many. They arrived at the Tianlin mountain range, a name alone heavy with pressure. The car buzzed with unease when people realized the camp sat in beast-infested territory, and though Old Li assured them a grandmaster guarded it, no one was fully reassured. Meanwhile, Su Hong calmly assessed the place, fully aware of just how deadly it was. The Tianlin mountain range stretched across cities, rich in spiritual energy but also crawling with savage beasts, even beast kings rivaling grandmasters. Here, even low-tier beasts were nightmare fuel compared to outside, enough to scare off ordinary martialists. After a long ride, the car finally stopped, but the atmosphere instantly turned strange. No one saw anything, yet the feeling of being watched was so strong even Li Tu voiced suspicion. Chen Shan grew alert while Su Hong tightened his sleeve, sensing danger mixed with excitement. This felt like a real battlefield, and oddly he liked it. Once everyone stepped out, the air grew even heavier. Every face brimmed with caution, as if anyone could become the next enemy. Unlike the rest, Su Hong stayed relaxed, even faintly confident. He strode forward with Chen Shan and Tao, but after a few steps, someone stopped them, ordering all to wait for a full head count before the entry test. Right then, a convoy of luxury cars rolled in, radiating pure main character energy. Elites stepped out, spiritual prodigies and noble hairs alike, especially standouts like Lin Jing and Wang Tianshou, gifted with top-tier talent and special physiques that sparked awe and jealousy. Su Hong watched without wavering, quietly measuring the gap. These were the peak of their generation, which only made him more eager to test himself. Once assembled, the HK official began announcing the rules. On paper, it sounded simple: travel 30 km in 8 hours and retrieve a token from a beast, but anyone who knew Tianlin knew this was no easy stroll. In these mountains, high-tier beasts or death could strike any time. While others worried, Su Hong saw opportunity. 8 hours meant bonus hunting time for martial points. When asked about encountering overpowering beasts, the reply tightened the mood: bad luck meant elimination, even if rescued. Discontent flared, but rules were rules. This wasn't just a test but a brutal filter where strength, guts, and luck decided survival. The commander scoffed at fairness. Real battlefields had none. Trained for years, and one stronger foe could still end you in a blink. To live, you dodge danger, crush the weak, even when outnumbered. That's the real rule. His words silenced many, though some sneered that the scared should quit early instead of acting like deadweight. That insult sparked instant hostility, glares clashing and curses flying. Fighting was banned before entry, but once inside the mountains, snatching tokens or beating rivals was fair game. Just like that, the test morphed into a miniature war zone. Standing aside, Su-hong quickly analyzed it. Forced mutual elimination. Over half would fall, maybe even die, but for him it was prime opportunity. After all, fights also meant martial points. The more chaos, the better. The countdown began, and the commander barked the order, "Start, get in there." In a flash, the crowd surged into the forest, shouts and pounding footsteps erupting everywhere. Elsewhere in the woods, two figures were already chasing each other. Wen Wei roared about beating his rival back home, while Lu Tao fired back, ready to knock him out of the competition on the spot. The moment they met, both unleashed attacks, firepower exploding. The air shook as nearby trees trembled violently. Watching from afar, Su-hong looked disappointed. So-called geniuses, and this was it. If beating them earned barely any martial points, he might as well hunt beasts instead. But their insults about poor trash hit a nerve, each word poking a sore spot. Su-hong smirked, eyes gleaming. Well, free martial points had just delivered themselves. He stepped between them calmly yet provocatively, telling them to stop fighting and fight him instead. They froze, then sneered, another poor fool courting death. Unbothered, Su-hong even suggested they team up against him. Wen Wei snapped and charged without hesitation, but in a flash, Su-hong sidestepped and spun, landing a lightning-fast kick straight to his gut. A dull thud echoed as Wen Wei was sent flying, crashing hard before he knew what hit him. Lu Tao stood stunned. He and Wen Wei were equal, so how did this guy win one-sided? Before he recovered, Su-hong turned coldly. Your turn. The words alone chilled him, but too late. Su-hong moved like a phantom, staff smashing down to end it almost instantly. Lu Tao flew off like a sandbag, rolling across the dirt in utter confusion. Su-hong dusted his hands, voice icy. Who told you to look down on ordinary cultivators? Onlookers buzzed. Where did this guy come from? Jumping in and flooring both at once. The commander glanced over and ruled it valid. No surrender, no interference. Then silence resumed. Later, Lu Tao woke up clutching his face, head ringing in pain. But when Su-hong's staff swayed again, he instinctively stepped back, fear flashing in his eyes, though he forced bravado, swearing revenge next time. Wen Wei also grumbled excuses, claiming it held back, yet the two exchanged a glance and fell silent, finally lowering their voices to admit Su-hong was truly strong and they'd underestimated him. The tension shifted into an awkward alliance. They decided to hunt Su-hong down together for payback. Meanwhile, Su-hong had long gone deeper into the forest, steps light but senses sharp. A rustling nearby made him halt instantly. A pack of long-tusked level 1 boars burst out, fierce and fast. Unfazed, Su-hong flashed forward, dodging while unleashing Benlei fist, explosive punches blasting the beasts away. Checking the system, he frowned. Stronger now meant fewer martial points per fight. Leveling up made grinding harder. Shaking it off, he refocused on the main goal, the token, but after checking the carcasses, found nothing. Seems only higher-tier beasts carried them. Half an hour later, the forest grew eerily silent. Su-hong narrowed his eyes. Earlier had met dozens of beasts per hour, but now none. Something was off. From the shadows stepped a massive figure, a high-stage level 1 nether knight black tiger, its oppressive aura freezing the air. Instead of fear, Su-hong smiled. Finally, worthy prey. He charged without hesitation, unleashing Po-Eye Finger in a burst that made the tiger roar in pain. Before it could counter, Su-hong closed in and drove his spear down decisively, ending it on the spot. The system chimed in with 35 martial points, and Su-hong was pleased. High-stage beasts were basically free loot now. He gutted the beast quickly, eyes lighting up at the token inside. It had taken nearly 3 hours to find one, definitely not easy. Su-hong analyzed that deeper meant stronger beasts but fewer in number. Hunting only elites wasn't as efficient as clearing mobs near the outskirts. Quantity over quality, that's the real grind strategy. With only 5 hours left, his gaze hardened. Every second counted. Soon the forest descended into chaos as beast packs were wiped out. Boar corpses littered the ground, while one lone figure kept moving non-stop, dodging, countering, farming martial points like a machine. After dozens of fights, he finally met a mid-stage beast. One punch shattered the air with a thunderous boom, leaving only the dying wails of crushed beasts behind. In its final second, the beast saw Su-hong's reflection in its eyes before. Darkness swallowed everything. His punch was too fast to resist. The explosive force launched its massive body flying, even toppling an ancient tree behind it. Su-hong clenched his fist, realizing that with his mortal body past 60 raw strength alone crushed mid-stage level 1 beasts. Checking the system, 254 martial points. He frowned. Over 100 more were needed to cap mortal body progress. And with just 3 hours left, no time to waste. As he prepared to resume hunting, a piercing ultrasonic-like screech shook the forest, warping the air itself. Su-hong spun around sharply. What just happened? A colossal shadow tore across the sky, wings beating with terrifying pressure. Each flap unleashed shockwaves that bent the trees below. Looking up, Su-hong's heart jolted. It was the legendary Golden Rock Beast King, apex predator. A casual wing beat carried apocalyptic force. A deafening blast split an ancient tree in half like paper. Retreating quickly, Su-hong wondered what kind of monster wielded such destruction. His confidence faltered before this being. He was nothing but an ant. Just as a massive light streaked across the sky, he heard a cold voice. Golden Rock Beast King, in borrowing this turf, why are you here? A human figure floated midair with crushing aura. Chun Tianli. The Beast King roared back, refusing outright. Qin Tianli sneered, then I'll beat you until you agree. Feathers shot out like blades, slicing downward with raging winds, while Chun Tianli countered with blazing light. Their clash split the heavens, shockwaves tearing through space. The aerial battle was insane, each strike threatening to collapse the forest below. Fighting, Qin Tianli shouted for it to get lost. At last, the enraged Beast King retreated, leaving a final threat before vanishing. As calm returned, Qin Tianli exhaled lightly, projected his voice across the area. I am 7th grade Grandmaster Qin Tianli. Remain calm, the test continues. On the ground, Su-hong stared skyward, shaken, so this was the power of a 7th grade grandmaster. Forcing back a beast king alone, he clenched his fists, vowing to reach that realm someday. Qin Tianli returned to the monitoring zone, joking that borrowing territory always seemed to require a fight. The two beside him hurried to flatter him, praising his strength for driving off the golden rock without resistance. He frowned, unimpressed, and ordered surveillance open to see which students withstood the pressure. The footage showed most students pinned down, unable to move, but a few stood out. Wang Tianqiu, high stage level 1 with 340 ki in blood and 95 fire affinity, plus a special physique resisting the pressure. Lin Xing, a mind master, dissolved it with mental force. Xiaoyan performed just as well. Qin Tianli nodded. These three clearly outclassed their peers. Yet as the list scrolled, he frowned. Why were they all from elite clans? Where were the regular school kids? Hearing that first high had only a few newly advanced low-stage students, he nearly skipped it. Nothing special. Then an image froze everyone, a teen calmly hunting beasts right after enduring the terrifying pressure. The supervisor trembled. That's a student from Xingcheng First High. Another could help, blurting out monster. Qin Tianli frowned at his rattled subordinates, mildly displeased. Both 5th grade, yet acting like you've never seen talent. Steady your minds. Still, when he looked back at the screen, clear interest flickered in his eyes. Seeing full attribute compatibility at 100 plus a special physique, Qin Tianli was stunned. Calling him a monster was mild. This was a heaven-defying freak. For tiny Xingcheng to produce such a prodigy wasn't one seen a century, it was one seen a millennium. He couldn't help laughing excitedly. This was like picking up a treasure. But his joy paused at another stat. Low-stage level 1 with only 123 ki in blood. Such terrifying talent with such low rank made no sense, until someone awkwardly explained Su-hong cultivated all 7 Daoying techniques. Qin Tianli nearly exploded. Dual cultivating 7 paths was self-sabotage. Even immortals couldn't carry that load. No wonder his rank crawled, and wasn't Wu Lingxian supposed to guide him? Just then, word came that students were regrouping, so he went to inspect. Appearing before them, the top 3 geniuses bowed in unison. He nodded. At least a few good seedlings existed. 6 hours in, students trickled back to base, relieved and chatting about near-death moments, even mentioning the Golden Rock Beast King with lingering fear. At 7.5 hours, murmurs rose. Those not back were likely eliminated. Qin Tianli scanned the crowd, anxious. Where was Su-hong? Losing that gem would hurt. As he fretted, a final figure appeared in the distance, clothes filthy. Dust-covered yet aura steady, Su-hong arrived, inwardly relieved after nearly losing track of time while grinding. Whispers spread he looked worse than the rest, yet bore no visible wounds. Just how many beasts had he slaughtered? In a corner, Wenwei and Lu Tao stared coldly. Finally, Hez here, but revenge could wait until inside. Others eyed Su-hong with curiosity. Arriving on time wasn't simple. When the clock hit 8 hours, the roster locked. Latecomers were out. Lindsay announced the rules emotionlessly. Inside were gravity rooms, agility chambers, live beast combat zones, and a martial arts pavilion. There, one could exchange for martial skills, movement arts, pills, even A-grade weapons. Su-hong's eyes lit up. This place was a goldmine. But the next rule dampened spirits. Resources required contribution points, earned only through training performance or special rewards. After dismissing the crowd, the uninjured kept training while the wounded rested. Entering his assigned room, Su-hong shut the door and finally relaxed at last, a quiet place to cultivate without exposing his secrets. He dumps all 354 martial points into his mortal body without blinking. The red bar rockets from 70 to 100 like a game about to break. His body shakes violently as evolution kicks in and smashes its old limits. Su-hong radiates wild energy mid-upgrade. A sonic boom bursts from his body. After Hong exhales calmly, clenching his fist, he marvels at his body's explosive new power. The tyrant body boasts absurd strength so rare he's never even heard of it. With spirit root at 0, the tyrant physique can still level up. How heaven-defying will it become? This physique is outrageously overpowered. He needs to test just how insane it is. Su-hong casually crushes iron in his hand. He freezes. This was grade alloy, and he just squashed it like candy. Grade alloy spears are expensive. This one cost him dearly. Then he remembers he looted it in the wild. Free after all. Time to grind contribution points for an A-grade spear. Carrying heavy loads earns points. Can he handle hundreds of jin? In the warehouse, people gasp 3,000 jin? Tian, he says it's still light, leaving everyone stunned since even a first-level martial artist carries only a few hundred jin. Someone comments that Wang Tianchu's strength is monstrous like a raging bull. Bai Mu announces that Wang Tianchu easily lifted 3,000 ki. No wonder he has the barbaric god physique. Qin Zongxi asks when to confront Su-hong about training all 7 great Dao guiding arts, but Tian Li advises caution. Tian Li says geniuses are prideful, push him directly, and hell just resist. They need subtler tactics. They plan a nighttime ambush, though Linja reports coordination between students is still messy. Since the freshmen just finished exams and are relaxed, a night attack will hit them with pure despair. Tian Li orders a high-stage first-level martial artist to crush Su-hong completely, then he'll kindly explain the downsides of 7 arts. Someone warns that the opponent has over 400 vitality points, while Su-hong barely has 100. This could shatter his Dao heart. Tian Li snaps that if his Dao heart breaks that easily, then it's just trash. Meanwhile, Su-hong notices the commotion. Wang Tianchu is heading to the gravity training room. As he walks, he mutters that everyone's watching Wang Tianchu train. Hell, check it out too. He wonders if the smart bracelet is used to calculate points. At that moment, he notices the equipment in front of him. Su-hong pauses at the display. Maximum load 10 tons, a suffocating number meant for physical monsters, making him wonder who could even use it. Pressure hits fast beyond his limit, speed and reflexes drop sharply, and long-term endurance is unrealistic. He eyes the 5-ton suit as current stable limit. Without hesitation, Su-hong tests it, moving through the heavy spaces if gravity is personally dragging him down. After a deep breath, he decides 5 tons is the sweet spot for now. If that's the case, watching how they train might actually be useful. Suddenly, a shout erupts. Wang Tianchu is training under 3 tons in the gravity room. He then doubles the gravity to 6 tons, visibly straining under the real crushing weight. Su-hong raises a brow. Only 3 tons, quietly admitting he underestimated them. His gaze lands on Chen Shan and Lu Du hesitating outside the training zone. They confess they're too embarrassed to go in surrounded by monsters, they'd only lose face. So Hong chuckles and pats them reassuringly, so that's the issue. Chen Shan gapes while Lu Du warns him not to go in yet or he'll be humiliated. The crowd mocks him last place, daring to challenge Wang Tianshu. What a joke. So Hong ignores them. Gravity room access is precious and wasting it would be foolish. Even at 1.5 gravity, he can stretch his training efficiency. Once activated, the heavy force hits instantly. He pauses. It's heavier than expected. Outside, people sneer only 1.5 and is already struggling. Inside, however, Su Hong focuses under pressure. His Dao guiding arts grow clearer and more effective. Progress speeding up fast. Time passes, sweat soaking. 2 hours later, Su Hong opens his eyes sharper and brighter than before. Thunder and heavenly flame guiding arts stabilize. Others reach level 1 and his vitality rises from 126 to 130, a solid leap. He concludes the gravity room exceeds expectations. The movement and beast rooms might be just as good. When he steps out, he's drenched in sweat. Someone scoffs, barely lasted and already out. Su Hong says nothing, calmly removing his weighted vest and muttering that it's really hot. That simple act silences the crowd instantly. They realize he wore a weighted vest all along. Surely 500k was already his breaking point. Yet enduring over 2 hours still proves he's no weakling, though compared to Wang Tianshu, he stands no chance. Right then, Wang Tianshu emerges, having endured 6 tons for over 2 hours, absurdly monstrous. Everyone admits his physique tops the camp. Most would last 30 minutes, under 500k at best. Amid the chatter, a heavy bag suddenly slams down, startling everyone. Wang Tianshu sighs lightly, just a bit of relaxation, though the weight terrifies onlookers. Xinghe steps up, half praising, half provoking, but Wang Tianshu refuses to spar in movement techniques against an A-grade wind user. Elsewhere, Su Hong falls into thought about A-grade movement skills. The tyrant body's power is fearsome, but right now he lacks a high-level movement technique to match it. In the movement room, jaws drop as the A-grade skill Flying Rainbow Cloud Step activates absurdly fast and unreal. Arrows rain like a storm while most fail at level 3. Lin Xing breezes through level 10. Someone gasps, it's so fast the eyes can't keep up for even a second. Yet he still strikes elegant poses mid-air, petals swirling, more fashion show than fight, but impossibly cool. The screen shows Flying Rainbow Cloud Step at only 1, and Su Hong's gaze sharpens. This skill is worth stealing. Suddenly his eyes widen. He dashes straight into the simulation zone, stunning everyone. The crowd scoffs. Does he think watching Lin Xing once lets him learn an A-grade skill? Then the progress bar jumps 815. And finally, congratulations, Flying Rainbow Cloud Step has reached beginner level. Su Hong exhales, his first A-grade movement skill acquired, even if he copied Lin Xing's overly flashy version. Now that has mastered it, no need to linger, better head to the beast hunting zone to farm martial points and vitality. While others stare and applaud his bizarre style, Su Hong senses someone watching him. Elsewhere, Lu He and Wen Wei lock onto him, planning to ambush him outside the beast room. The scene shifts to the beast room. Yui taunts Xiaoyan, claiming mental power alone can't beat her savage beasts. Xiaoyan frowns confidently, never underestimate a spirit psychic. Su Hong watches quietly, curious about this unseen combat style, thinking it's a good chance to learn before grinding beasts himself. He recalls the earlier scene, still shaken as if he witnessed the impossible. She was flying, not jumping, not borrowing force, but hovering midair, a feat only grandmasters achieve. What exactly is a spirit psychic? Xiaoyan casually raises her hand and the air itself shifts. In a blink, 3 high-stage first-level black tigers are sliced apart by invisible blades. What was that? The last beast suddenly freezes mid-roar. Its eyes bulge as if gripped by an unseen force. Su Hong stiffens spirit power, forced suppression. With a light flick, Xiaoyan ends the fight cleanly. He finally understands the flashing lights were daggers condensed from spirit power. Flying midair, controlling objects remotely, outright suppressing foes. No wonder spirit psychics are nightmares for normal martial artists. Outside, people scream, what the hell is that giant sword? Space seems stretched as spirit power erupts, forming a colossal blade heavy enough to suffocate. Xiaoyan glances down. She waves her hand and the giant sword cleaves down as if splitting the battlefield. Su Hong is shaken. She carried no weapon, and that sword must weigh several tons if real. Xinghe remarks calmly, it's a signature skill of spirit psychics, and she's already reached A-grade. The crowd erupts. Another A-grade. Is everyone here secretly broken, and does Wang Tiantu have one too? Xinghe smirks. He also has an A-grade offensive martial skill. Q instant chaos, monsters everywhere. Su Hong's eyes darken. Wang Tiantu can blow up high-stage beasts with one punch with an A-grade skill. How terrifying would that be? Good thing he came here. Someone shouts in disbelief. He exploded a beast with pure muscle, no skill. Su Hong feels stirred. If raw strength is that insane, maybe he should learn it someday. But for now, his goal is cleared. Spike his spirit power is 25, needs 100 start, meaning 735 martial points to grind. His gaze turns icy. Time to get serious. A cold laugh echoes his Ganon. With everyone distracted by Wang Tiantu and Xiaoyan, it's the perfect chance to teach him a lesson. Su Hong frowns. He checks his phone. Challenge 10 high-stage first-level beasts. The air freezes. Has he lost his mind? Lu He and Wen Wei panic. Should they call an instructor? Too late. In seconds, hell be torn apart. Their revenge plan dies on the spot. In the arena, Su Hong stands coldly and gestures, come at me. The 2 attackers charge without hesitation. Su Hong sidesteps like a ghost, dodging every strike with ease. Without stopping, he gathers spirit power into 2 faint energy spheres. They explode instantly, a massive force shaking the air. The attackers are stunned. A low-stage first-level martial artist bursting like this. Wen Wei suddenly recognizes the footwork. Wait, that's Lin Xing's Flying Rainbow Cloud Step. Lu He refuses to believe a mere high schooler learned an A-grade skill. Wen Wei mutters maybe he copied it by sight, then dismisses the absurd thought. Lu He grits his teeth. We can't win. Wen Wei sighs bitterly, swallow the humiliation and leave. Pride or not, they have to endure it. As they hesitate, Wen Wei suddenly points ahead. Wait, look! Both turn and go numb. While they were talking, all 10 high-stage beasts were already wiped out. Dead silence. Su Hong dusts off his hands. 81 martial points total. Less than 10 per beast. The stronger they are, the stingier the points. He lifts his head, sensing more hidden auras nearby. No more wasting. Continue. Just as he speaks, a clawed beast dives from above. Killing intent flashes as Vajra fist detonates, shaking the ground. Nearby beasts instinctively retreat. He laughs coldly. Where are you running? Hand over those martial points. He lunges, grabbing a beast by the tail. With full force, he swings it like a living hammer. The two onlookers freeze stiff. Lu, he gulps. Forget revenge, I surrender. When Wei nods frantically, run before we get swung next. Looking back, they realize something worse. Wang Tianchuo killed 9 beasts in under 10 minutes, and Xiao Yan, standing still, has already taken down 8. Someone runs over asking if they got revenge. The two force a laugh. Yeah, sure. Inside, they're icicled. Fight him. If they'd stayed, they'd be corpses too. This camp is monster central. Before they can think, people gasp. How many contribution points did you get? Wang Tianchuo 80. Xiao Yan calmly says 2. Since one high-stage beast gives 5 points, that means 50 kills each. Everyone goes numb. Others brag about their points. 100 with a weighted vest. Some say 50, 20, 30 for carrying a ton, even 10 for the unlucky ones. Comparing results, Su Hong's name pops up most with Lin Xing's insane score and 3 monsters ahead. Others can only fight for 4th. In a corner, when Wei and Lu He exchange bitter looks, these fools don't know there's an even scarier monster here. The battlefield reeks of blood, beast corpses scattered everywhere. Su Hong sits down, exhaling after non-stop comp. Even with the tyrant body, over an hour of rampage brings fatigue. 735 points still feels far. This hunt plus weighted vest earned him 700 contribution points, 400 from kills, 300 from load. Maybe time to shop for skills. He stands before the martial pavilion, dim lights glowing over shelves and task boards. He scans prices. Vitality pills 10, recovery pills 20, spirit gathering pill 30, higher tier vitality pills 50. A-grade skills cost a fortune, 2,000 to 3,000 points or more. He shakes his head. A-grade skills are luxury items. Pills, especially spirit gathering pills, are more practical. The clerk eyes him, thinking a low-stage first-level student won't afford much. He asks about the spirit gathering pill. She confirms it boosts spirit power, most effective the first time. Higher grade means stronger effect. The highest tier is tier 4, priced. Calmly he says, hell, take one tier 5. She startles. 500 points, not 50. He nods, yes, tier. Silent. Seeing his 700 points, her attitude flips. She hands over the pill, and he also asks for a key grade dual attribute Thunderfire alloy spear. She beams, of course, only 200 points, thank you for your patronage. Leaving the pavilion, he disappears into the night under dim training field lights. In his hand rests a grade Thunderfire alloy spear. He reviews his gains. Vitality and gliding arts improved. Nearly 500 martial points earned today, better than a week's grind. His spirit power is 25 even with gains, is still 25 poive short of hum. He stares at the pill, eyes sharpening. Hope this is enough. In the dark, he clenches his fist. This time, he must step into the realm of spirit psychics. Without hesitation, Su Hong swallows the spirit-gathering pill. The pill melts instantly upon contact. It turns into a gentle green glow spreading through his body. He pauses. Every exhausted nerve feels soothed, pressure completely lifted. Comfort floods him. His mind turns crystal clear, the world unlocking in vivid detail. After a while, he slowly opens his eyes. Checking the system panel, he muttered 50.5 and eat 24-point spirit boost thanks to that rank 4 pill. He quickly calculated 55 plus 490 martial points made 99.5, just 0.5 100. Regret hit him. One more beast kill would done it, but now he could only wait for tomorrow and rest. Meanwhile, the training camp warehouse was buzzing with energy. Crowd gathered, chattering nonstop. A tall guy read the list, teasing Bu Jingyan about being dragged from Marshall University to babysit geniuses. Hao Wu snorted, saying if he were still in high school, none of these kids would qualify to spar with him. The tall guy smirked, bragging that Wang Tiantu had 340 vitality, probably more than Hao Wu had back then. Others chimed in. One had a student over 300 vitality, another was a spirit psychic, no explanation needed. They flipped open the files and all froze at one name. Su Hong, first stage, rank 1, 123 vitality. The group exploded. Why assign the weakest rookie to their strongest fighter? Did Qin Zongxi mess up? Right then, Qin Zongxi arrived calmly and confirmed there was no mistake. Hao Wu protested, but Qin Zongxi replied coldly that Su Hong's combat power matched high stage rank 1. The group blanked out. 123 vitality with high stage strength. What kind of monster was that? Qin Zongxi said the details were classified. Hao Wu grumbled about nearly reaching rank 2 yet having to bully a rookie. Qin Zongxi knocked his head, warning him not to hold back unless he wanted regrets. Hao Wu muttered about favoritism, but Qin Zongxi smirked, cripple him if you can. Hao Wu broke into cold sweat, pitying Su Hong in advance. Night fell and the training camp went silent. Hao Wu's group quietly approached the target building. Enemy attack! Boss, let me put my pants on! Su Hong shot up instantly, eyes sharp. Someone was ambushing him. The bedroom door was slashed open as Hao Wu charged in. A chilling sword light cleaved straight toward the bed. Su Hong twisted aside and grabbed his spear. He analyzed fast. Did the myriad races that hunted human geniuses finally make a move? He tightened his grip, eyes turning icy. Hao Wu sneered, saying a first-stage rookie meeting him was just bad luck. Su Hong quickly judged this was a human high-stage fighter, not an alien assassin. Perfect timing. Beating him would earn the last 5 martial points and complete his spirit psychic breakthrough. His eyes burned with excitement. Hao Wu, however, was baffled. Why wasn't this rookie running instead of eager to fight? They clashed, Su Hong's spear blocking Hao Wu's sword head-on. The recoil forced both of them to pause. Hao Wu was shaken. This strength rivaled high-stage rank 1 Qin Zongxi. Hadn't lied. Yet he doubted again, could a rank 1 fighter truly wield such power? Purple light spread across his blade. Su Hong didn't retreat, his momentum only surged as he pressed forward. In moments he knocked Hao Wu's sword aside, making him step back, arm trembling. This kid was a beast. Suddenly Hao Wu's sword blazed with intense violet light, aura skyrocketing. He coldly declared that battles between martial artists weren't just about raw strength. Su Hong stayed calm, golden lightning flickering on his spear as he noted this fire-type martial technique was a first for him. Hao Wu leapt into the air, his sword intent blazing hot enough to scorch the sky. Roaring blazing flame slash, he brought down a brank martial strike like it meant to split the world. Su Hong tightened his spear, calm as ever, noting the attack was nearly at brank destructive tier. When the forces collided, a deafening explosion shook the ground. dust swallowed everything in sight. When it cleared, one figure was still standing. Su-hong hadn't budged an inch and the air instantly turned heavy. Ho-woo was stunned without using a martial skill, just external thunder release. Su-hong had blocked a brank strike. This wasn't talent, it was monstrosity, and Chun Zongshi had been right. After a breath, Ho-woo sneered that Su-hong didn't know how to fuse spear arts with thunder, or he'd have lost already. Su-hong raised his spear, golden light intensifying, calmly admitting he indeed didn't. Ho-woo smirked until Su-hong added, "But what if I add this?" Instantly, blazing orange light erupted from Su-hong and his spear, his aura completely transforming. Ho-woo's pupils shrank as he stammered in shock. Attribute fusion. Jingfeng steadied himself midair, mind buzzing, recalling that elemental attributes were supposed to repel each other. Yet Thunderfire Fusion had thought that was just a myth. A cold golden lightning flickered in Su-hong's eyes. Giving no time to react, he charged with a gale-like spear strike, shouting, "End it," as Jingfeng panicked. Jingfeng hastily countered, unleashing blazing flame slash again, crimson light devouring all. But before it could land, Su-hong's spear tip had already swept in. Golden lightning fused with raging fire smashed straight into the sword force, tearing the air apart with a thunderous blast. Jingfeng was hit head-on, blood spraying as he thought only one thing: this power was absurd. His body was blasted through the roof and crashed to the ground, unmoving. The light on Su-hong's spear slowly faded. Standing amid the battlefield, slightly breathless yet ice-eyed, he heard the system chime Martial Point 7. Su-hong smiled faintly. He now had enough points to become a Spirit Psychic, and his status panel showed Su-hong 135 Vitality, 50.5 Spirit, Tyrant Physique, Spirit Rank 1, Thunderdog Guidance LV4, Heavenly Flame LV4, Water Martial LV3, Spirit Wind LV3, Flying Rainbow Cloud Step Beginner 3, Perfect Destruction Finger, Perfect Furious Sea Spear Art 497 Martial Points. In the distance, Tianli watched silently. He muttered that time was about up, assuming Su-hong had been handled by Jingfeng, even preparing advice to stop him from multi-attribute Do guidance. Suddenly, an explosion burst from the top floor as a figure was blasted into the sky. Jingfeng crashed down before Tianli and Qinglan, covered in blood and unconscious, freezing the air around them. Qinglan stood stunned. If Jingfeng fell, then Su-hong had won. Before they recovered, 3 more explosions rang out from different directions. 3 bodies slammed down in a row beside Jingfeng. Above stood Wang Tianchuo, Lin Xing, and Xiao Yan, all indifferent. Lin Xing casually told Qin Zongxi to find stronger opponents next time. Wang Tiantu glanced down, mildly surprised there were 4 casualties. Xiao Yan tilted her head, noting someone below had won even faster than them. Lin Xing chuckled, guessing the opponent must have been too weak. Qinglan stared at the 4 unconscious fighters. Mind-reeling Jingfeng was strongest, and while Wang Tianchuo, Lin Xing, and Spirit Psychic Xiao Yan winning was normal, Su-hong, a mere first stage rank 1, had defeated a near rank 2 even faster. Just how on earth had he done it? Just then, someone sprinted over, gasping that something huge had happened. Tianli stayed calm, assuming a trainee had died, hardly rare in training. The man shook his head frantically. It was Su-hong. Had used Fused Dao guidance in his fight with Jingfeng, instantly plunging the air into silence as Tianli froze. Tianli drew a deep breath. He grabbed Chengming's shoulders, demanding confirmation, and Chengming swore Su-hong fused thunder and fire to defeat Jingfeng. Had seen it clearly on the surveillance footage. Even Jingfeng sprawled on the ground, croaked that it was true dual thunderfire fusion. Tianli's face changed wildly. Ztian, humanity's top prodigy, had studied dual fusion for 10 years, yet Su-hong had touched 7 Dao guidance arts in under a month. He clenched his fists, calling Su-hong not a genius but a heavenly aberration, a true dragon descended. Qinglan asked if fusion was truly that powerful, and Tianli confirmed that the first pioneer once used rank 1 to defeat rank 2. Qinglan frowned. If it was so strong, why discourage it? Tianli sighed heavily. It was too dangerous, with massive failure rates that could derail cultivation and shatter one's mind, and most never advanced beyond rank 1. Yet Su-hong fused successfully in under a month and carried 7 attributes. Tianli muttered that full fusion would be unimaginable. He even whispered that a future Su-hong might flatten the myriad race emperors with one move. Chengming and Qinglan awkwardly dismissed the idea. 2 attributes were already the limit, 7 was fantasy. Tianli coughed to regain composure but warned that if Su-hong got stuck at the fusion stage, Tianli would be humanity's sinner. Chengming suddenly added that Su-hong also had a special physique with strength far beyond Jingfeng, making Tianli glare for not saying it sooner. Qinglan noted Su-hong's 120 vitality suppressing Jingfeng's near 500, and Chengming confirmed his raw power even surpassed Wang Tianchuo's barbarian god physique. After a pause, Tianli declared Su-hong's physique must be heaven-defying too and ordered a full spar tomorrow, sending Wang Tianchuo, Lin Xing, and Xiao Yan together. He wanted to see what kind of miracle Su-hong would create against the camp's strongest geniuses. In the wrecked room, Su-hong's figure quietly melted into the shadows. Sitting down, he smiled at the system panel and transferred all martial points to Spirit, gaining 1 Spirit. He thought to himself that he was finally about to become a Spirit Psychic. A faint white glow spread around him. Su-hong felt a strange shift, like sprouting a bizarre new sense. As the light faded, the system displayed Spirit 100.2, and before he could react, the white cloth in the corner suddenly twitched. Then the entire bed slowly floated into the air. Soon every object in the room levitated, and Su-hong's eyes gleamed. Had succeeded, now able to fly objects and attack with spirit power like Xiao Yan. He even planned to learn rank spirit skills in Wang Tianchuo's attack techniques. The next morning, alarms blared across camp, ordering assembly in 1 minute or lose contribution points, throwing everyone into chaos. Trainees dashed out, grumbling about insane training schedules and midnight ambushes draining them dry. In the end, all gathered on the field. Su-hong walked over calmly. Ming Kang announced no one was late, drawing relieved sighs. But when someone complained about last night's ambush, Ming Kang coldly asked if enemy races would wait for him to put on pants. The crowd burst into teasing laughter. Su-hong understood real combat allowed no preparation, though night ambushes were still annoying. Ming Kang declared a full assessment today: vitality, combat power, spirit, speed, and martial skills plus a daily top 10 ranking. The top 10 would receive bonus contribution points. All eyes turned to Wang Tianchu's group, assumed to dominate. Su Hong wondered what first place would win. They were led to a temporary testing zone with a rank 2 combat power machine. From above, Tianli observed, noting Su Hong didn't stand out at all. A nearby trainee thought he was being noticed, but Su Hong calmly figured Tianli's real target was him. After all, he was the one truly under scrutiny. Tianli announced the grand prize as selectable a rank martial skill or movement technique. The crowd exploded and a rank skill wasn't a joke, and the field's tension skyrocketed as monsters like Wang Tianchu, Lin Xing, and Xiao Yan were expected to dominate. Wang Tianchu calculated quickly a rank skills were rare treasures even for elite families. Xiao Yan's eyes sparkled. First place meant choosing any rank skill she wanted. Lin Xing smirked. Another rank skill paired with flying rainbow cloud step would make him untouchably fast. Su Hong grew more intrigued, and a rank reward meant he'd better take this seriously. Tianli narrowed his eyes, waiting to see how far these geniuses could erupt. He called out the first testers, Lin Xing, then Xiao Yan, then Wang Tiantuo. The crowd buzzed, starting with the 3 strongest monsters, left little suspense for the rest. Then Tianli added the 4th, Su Hong, freezing the field as whispers rose about the weakest guy joining the elites, while Su Hong stepped up calmly, amused at being targeted. Lin Xing went first, throwing a punch straight at the machine. The impact exploding 413. Gas spread over 4,000 without martial skills, truly monstrous. Lin Xing shrugged and activated a wind attribute technique, Fierce Gale Fist. Another Bersurgeon of 560-42. The arena erupted over 5,600, was nearly rank 2 level, yet he called it a weakness. Su Hong merely nodded as his system logged the new wind skill for reference. Just then Xiao Yan stepped forward, tilting her head and remarking Lin Xing wasn't bad, but only that. Xiao Yan's basic punch scored 3,253, lower than expected, but Su Hong knew spirit psychics relied on mental arts, not muscles. Then her aura erupted, radiant spirit light spreading out. Su Hong sensed the familiar fluctuation as his system logged a new skill, spirit condensed weapon art, making his eyes gleam. He glanced at the board, thinking today was a goldmine for learning. Xiao Yan condensed her spirit power into a giant luminous hammer in midair. She swung it down at the testing machine, and the screen flashed 5942. The arena exploded nearly 6,000, higher than Lin Xing. Her true spirit psychic power had doubled her output in a blink. Someone sighed enviously while Su Hong quietly tried circulating condensed weapon art, but the forming force quickly dissipated. He steadied himself, analyzing that the art could condense anything into weapons, yet the more solid the object, the greater the spirit drain. With his current spirit level, stable use was impossible. He opened his eyes and shelved it for later practice. Attention shifted as Wang Tiantuo stepped up, the crowd buzzing about his barbarian god physique. Known for pure strength dominance, he had few rivals here, making Su Hong curious how it compared to his Terran physique. Wang Tiantuo strode forward confidently, aura surging. His fist smashed into the machine with a thunderous boom. The display showed over 7,500 barehanded power, nearing Lin Xing his weapon-enhanced strike. Even Tianli nodded and approved. Wang Tiantuo bowed slightly before preparing his martial skill. Su Hong's eyes flashed. Now the real show began. White airflow coiled around Wang Tiantuo's arm. He roared and punched again as Tianli focused sharply. It was the rank skill, Netherbone Flame Fist. Su Hong's system instantly recorded the new rank technique worth 2,800 contribution points, making him pause. His eyes gleamed brighter. Wang Tianchu's second punch tore through the air. The number rose to 7,532 warrior level despite only 350 vitality. Tianli nodded in satisfaction. Then he called the next name, Su Hong. The field fell briefly silent before erupting. After 3 monsters, what could he possibly do? Tianli set the rule, muscle power only, no martial skills, and Su Hong stepped forward. He lowered his stance, fist clenched, eyes sharp. One thought echoed, he would claim that a rank reward. He threw a punch, the ground trembling with the impact. The machine shook as the crowd held its breath, and when the number appeared, absolute silence fell. Over 6,500 chaos erupted as the supposed weakest trainee punched out a monstrous score, flipping the camp's hierarchy upside down. Xiao Yan exhaled in shock. Lin Xing narrowed his eyes. Wang Tianchuo's confidence visibly wavered. Su Hong calmly asked Tianli if he could now use martial skills. Tianli studied him, then nodded for him to continue. Su Hong smiled faintly, adjusted his breathing, and felt something awaken as his internal output climbed 11423. He instantly felt the Yuming Bonefire Fist fit him like a glove. He mastered it even faster than the Arank Flying Rainbow Cloud Step. Tai Li watched and asked his assistant how strong Su Hong would be with martial arts. The assistant guessed his skills shouldn't be top tier, though his current state was oddly suspicious. Tai Li said nothing and kept watching in silence. Right then, Su Hong's system chimed, Yuming Bonefire Fist 100 entry level unlocked. He opened his eyes sharply, shocking the crowd. Wasn't that Wang Tiantuo's martial art, and how on earth did he learn it? Su Hong said nothing, clenched his fist, and decided to test just how brutal this Arank skill was. He punched down, boom, and smoke swallowed the entire testing machine. When the screen cleared, it read 9,000. The assistant trembled. This hit late stage level 2 martial artist power, sending the crowd into chaos. Tai Li stared at the screen grimly and muttered that this kid was a monster. Even his vitality seemed suspicious. Someone rechecked the data and whispered his vitality is only 137. The crowd froze. 137 vitality at 9,000 on power. That defied common sense. Su Hong stepped out of the machine as if that monstrous punch was just a warm-up. Tai Li inhaled and announced the start of real combat. Everyone may choose their opponent. When no one dares to fight anymore, the last standing wins the Arank martial art. Lin Xing, he smirked, locked eyes on Su Hong, stepped forward, and declared he wanted to fight him. Xing, he repeated loudly that he would challenge Su Hong. He thought smugly, even if you're invincible in power, your low vitality means I can dodge with movement skills and outlast you. But Tianli suddenly objected, saying no. Instead, he allowed all 3 of them to fight together. The trio bristled. Who is this punk to deserve a 3 unknown? Wang Tiantuo sneered. He feared accidentally crippling the kid with one slap. Tianli asked Su Hong's opinion, and he calmly replied he had none. They scoffed at his arrogance. Did he really think he could beat all 3? One of them alone was enough. Tianli waved it off and told them to begin. The three opponents instantly dashed forward like a gust of wind. Xinghe planned to use Cloud Conceal Swift Wind to retreat, let the others engage, then flank with his flying Rainbow Cloud Step. Surely Su Hong couldn't react. Suddenly someone shouted danger and Wang Tiantuo yelled for Lin Xinghe to dodge. Hearing that, Xinghe panicked. What? At that moment, Su Hong's fist swung toward Xinghe's back. See you later. Just as the punch reached his face, it abruptly stopped. Xinghe barely escaped in time and gasped out in relief. Xiaoyan thanked him and warned that Su Hong's speed was no joke. Su Hong analyzed quietly, so this is a spiritual mind master. Being mentally restrained like this felt awkward. His gaze darkened as he looked toward her, clearly taking note. Then Su Hong charged at Xiaoyan. Better eliminate her first. Her face stiffened as she activated the Flying Rainbow Cloud Step. Xinghe shouted in shock. How does he know Flying Rainbow Cloud Step if his fire attributed? Wang Tiantu barked that Su Hong must have maxed his attributes. Stop him. Xiaoyan declared Shed restrain him with mental control and Tiantu agreed. Wang Tiantuo rushed in with Yuming Bone Fire Fist. Facing him, Su Hong gathered power with the exact same move. Xiaoyan nervously unleashed her mental binding technique. Su Hong felt pressured. This mental control was tougher than expected. Leaping down from above, someone shouted, I Su Yao Guai will kick you! Outside, Tianli stroked his beard, thinking that mental power was truly troublesome once restrained. Only brute force or countermental strength could break free. Though Su Hong's muscles were strong, they might not be enough weight. Was that a smile on his face? Chaos erupted as dust and smoke swallowed the battlefield. He shoved back the incoming mental force like brushing off a pesky fly. Then he swiftly grabbed both opponents at once. Su Hong single-handedly caught the two of them in one smooth move. The crowd gasped. Pure physical strength plus mental power. Su Hong was basically inhuman. His hand clamped tightly around Xinghe's ankle. The other hand locked on Tiantuo's wrist. Tiantuo's face twisted ugly as he was spun midair like a rag doll. He broke into a cold sweat while cursing under his breath. Meanwhile, Su Hong fought on fiercely, eyes blazing bright. He slammed both of them headfirst into the ground at the same time. Tiantuo's head was buried in rubble as he cursed unwillingly. The other spat out a massive mouthful of blood. The onlookers stood frozen stiff in shock. They all shared one thought: this guy was brutally monstrous. Tiantuo and Xinghe both fell unconscious together. As the smoke cleared, Su Hong let out a light sigh. He turned his head and glanced elsewhere. Xiaoyan trembled, stammering that she surrendered and begged him not to come closer. The audience buzzed. One guy defeating the top 3 trainees. Absolute monster. Qin Tianli shouted, asking if anyone else dared challenge Su Hong, otherwise he'd be ranked first. The crowd muttered that Su Hong was obviously number 1, and only idiots would challenge him after that display. He announced Su Hong as champion, while ranks 2 to 10 would continue competing for rewards under instructor Lin Ze's arrangement. First place is unquestionable. Come pick your rank martial skill reward. Su Hong thought smugly that he'd gained yet another rank martial skill. As they walked, Qin Tianli admitted he'd noticed Su Hong hiding his strength since entering camp. Su Hong replied calmly that showing power too early would make him a target. Qin Tianli laughed, revealing the tournament was arranged just to secure more resources for him. In this world, the strong prey on the weak, but Qin Tianli vowed to protect Su Hong, who thanked him respectfully. At the martial arts pavilion, the staff greeted them as Qin Tianli ordered the skill list brought out. Take your time choosing, Su Hong asked which one Qin Tianli recommended. Su Hong listed his skills: Bone Nether Flame Fist, Flying Crimson Cloud Step, Cloud Hidden Swift Wind Fist, Shattering Finger. Others were low tier. Qin Tianli was shocked he didn't even own those skills and wondered if Su Hong learned them after watching Lin Xing once. Qin Tianli sighed in awe at Su Hong's monstrous talent. The staff wondered who this young man was to have Qin Tianli personally escort him. Qin Tianli suggested an rank control skill: Flame Prison Cage, forming a fire prison with spiritual energy to trap enemies. He explained control skills required spiritual power to leave the body hard even for most second-stage martial artists, while Su Hong was only first stage, though talented enough to try. He offered to demonstrate the skill before Su Hong decided. Su Hong respectfully thanked Grandmaster Qin. Qin Tianli conjured a small flame to begin the demonstration. He explained control skills may lack flashy power but are extremely practical. First, use the flame cage to trap the enemy before attacking. Combined well, it could become a guaranteed killing strike. However, maintaining it while attacking required at least 3rd stage martial level, something Su Hong couldn't yet achieve. Su Hong shook his head, deciding to choose another skill instead of a control type. Qin Tianli was surprised at how quickly he gave up, thinking this monstrous genius was wisely humble. Inside, Su Hong smirked. He already possessed that skill and asked Qin Tianli to help him find another one. Qin Tianli analyzed that since Su Hong already had attack and movement skills, he should learn a defensive one instead. He recommended a level and defense skill that condensed defensive spiritual energy, perfect for Su Hong's physique. Su Hong agreed happily, trusting Grandmaster Qin's advice. Qin Tianli asked about his special physique, and Su Hong answered Overlord Body. Su Hong mused that it was the strongest among 3,000 physiques, making Qin Tianli tempted to pass down ultimate techniques. Qin Tianli admitted he'd never heard of it. Su Hong awkwardly said he named it himself, so Qin guessed it was undocumented. Still, blocking Wang Tian's Barbarian God Body Punch proved Su Hong's terrifying strength unheard of for his level. Suddenly, Qin Tianli's phone rang. The caller reported that Su Hong had been wearing a weighted vest during the fight. Qin Tianli shouted in shock, and Su Hong casually confirmed he needed it for contribution points. Qin Tianli was stunned, realizing normal logic didn't apply to this freakish genius. He told Su Hong to forget minor points. Future victories meant more skills, so Su Hong agreed to remove the vest. A staff member offered to carry it, and Su Hong warned it was heavy. She boasted she was a dignified second-stage martial artist, but her face quickly turned ugly. The vest hit the floor and dented it. How many tons? She asked. 5, Su Hong replied, shocking them that a first-stage beginner beat 3 late-stage geniuses with 5 tons on. Qin Tianli patted his shoulder, offering another rank martial skill. Curious, Su Hong learned it was a spear technique, recalling he used a spear. Qin Tianli proposed the Rank Thunder Spear technique, extremely powerful, and even offered to arrange a spar to help him grasp it. Su Hong hesitated, but Qin Tianli insisted he needed to clap back at Jiang Lin for mocking his camp. They agreed to leave for Yangcheng the next morning. Night fell, shifting the scene to Su Hong's home. He muttered that the training camp even cleaned his room. Nice perk. As the system notifications flashed, he trained hard, determined to master 3 skills before tomorrow. Meanwhile, Qin Tianli called Jiang Lin, telling him to prepare the Thunder Spear technique as he was bringing a student to challenge. Jiang Lin begged for mercy, bragging his camp had produced a spirit body genius who'd reached 2nd stage. In just 2 days, that student mastered an rank control skill to the point of external spiritual release. Across the line, someone was training like a madman. His eyes suddenly snapped open wide. He unleashed a move: wood prison. The tree roots halted instantly at his command. Then they slowly dissipated into the air. He sighed in frustration at another failure, while Jiang Lin comforted Lin Fengchun not to aim too high with control skills. Fengchun insisted he'd successfully enter the skill within a month. Jiang Lin was shocked. He took 3 months himself, calling the boy a monster and boasting Qin's student wouldn't stand a chance. Qin Tianli was startled before Jiang Lin abruptly hung up. Jiang Lin told Fengchun to win easily but stage a dramatic fight to crush their pride. Fengchun confidently promised his acting skills were top-notch. The next afternoon, the scene shifted to Yangcheng training camp. Qin Tianli and Su Hong arrived by air, drawing exclamations. Qin Tianli joked about experiencing flight like this for the first time. They landed smooth. Jiang Lin sneered, asking what kind of genius Qin Tianli had brought this time. Qin Tianli introduced Su Hong as a 2nd stage beginner spear user like Jiang, and Su Hong politely greeted Grandmaster Jiang. Jiang scoffed, mocking how a 1st stage beginner could be treated like treasure. Privately, he thought a 2nd stage crushing a 1st stage was instant kill and told Lin Chunfeng to prepare his acting skills. Qin Tianli urged Jiang to start quickly. They still had dinner plans. At the training arena, everyone lined up to watch. The crowd buzzed, curious whether this genius would impress or embarrass himself. Jiang Hao formally introduced the famous Grandmaster Qin Tianli, and the crowd respectfully greeted him. He then presented Su Hong as today's challenger. Jiang Hao awkwardly announced Su Hong was only 1st stage beginner. The crowd erupted. How dare a 1st stage challenge Lin Chunfeng, a 2nd stage expert? Lin Chunfeng stiffened, wondering how to fake a close fight before winning. Jiang Hao asked if victory would earn his student a level in martial skill from Qin. Qin Tianli generously promised Su Hong any rank skill except Thunder Spear if he won, and Su Hong thanked Sect Master Jiang with a grin. Qin Tianli praised Jiang's kindness while Jiang Hao smiled stiffly inside. Soon, Su Hong and Lin Chunfeng faced off on the plat. Jiang Hao confidently declared a 1st stage couldn't beat a 2nd stage wood spirit body and reminded Chunfeng to hold back. Chunfeng drew his sword with imposing flair. Yet inside, he worried about injuring Su Hong too badly in one move. Even asked why Su Hong wasn't using his long spear. Su Hong casually stretched, saying he didn't need it yet. He thought his Crank Furious Sea Spear art was weaker than his other skills, so using it would only handicap him. Chunfeng misunderstood the gesture as arrogance and smirked. He charged forward, eager to test Su Hong's confidence. Chunfeng leapt high and launched a fierce attack. His sword slashed down powerfully. In that instant, Su Hong dodged with flying Crimson Cloud Step. Chunfeng was shocked in a rank wind movement skill. He grinned, finding things interesting. Chunfeng rushed again, declaring movement techniques useless now. He clenched his fist and activated Wood Prison. Tough vines shot out, binding Su Hong's legs, making him think of control-type skills. Remembering Qin's words about how hard control skills were, Su Hong admitted Lin Chunfeng was truly talented and prepared to break free by force. In a blink, the vines around his legs shattered. Su Hong blinked. Was that it? Gone in a second. Suddenly, Chunfeng appeared behind him with sword ready, saying 1 second was enough. Su Hong turned back with an emotionless stare. He clenched his fist as light slowly gathered. Su Hong prepared to unleash a devastating punch. Chunfeng panicked, realizing the punch was faster than his own strike. He hastily shouted "Wood Shield!" as branches formed to block, but they were smashed instantly. Chunfeng's body took the full hit. The powerful punch sent him flying. Gritting his teeth, Chunfeng admitted Su Hong's strength was absurd. Su Hong remained ice-faced after the blow. The audience was stunned, a 1st stage beginner overpowering a 2nd stage ranked defense like a beast. Qin Tianli laughed gleefully while Jiang Hao forced a smile, insisting raw strength alone wouldn't win. Just keep watching. On the arena, Su Hong braced his foot, ready to dash again. He shot toward Lin Chunfeng's falling figure, and delivered a brutal kick midair. But Chunfeng suddenly vanished in afterimage. Chunfeng reappeared behind him, thinking a rank movement skills weren't Su Hong's monopoly. He struck at Su Hong's spot, but Su Hong had already dodged. Chunfeng shouted for him to surrender, admitting a 1st stage pushing him this far was impressive. Su Hong gave no reply, only forming a strange hand sign that confused Chunfeng. Su Hong clenched his fist as if asking, "You really don't know?" Instantly, a flaming cage erupted around Chunfeng. Chunfeng was dumbfounded at control-type martial skill. He stared at Su Hong in disbelief, thinking a 1st stage could sustain it long. Just wait for the fire to fade. Jiang Hao was stunned. Flame prison cage at 1st stage. This student was unreal. Qin Tianli awkwardly brushed it off when Jiang asked if it was his teaching. Jiang Hao pressed on, wasn't Su Hong wind attribute? Where did fire come from? Qin coughed, saying he just had multiple attributes. Jiang Hao noticed the flame prison wasn't collapsing, while Qin shouted to look at the white flame on Su Hong's fist. A strange white glow now shimmered over Su Hong's knuckles. Chunfeng panicked, asking if Su Hong was maintaining the flames while attacking something even 3rd stage warriors struggled with. Su Hong calmly said bingo and hurled another heavy punch. Chunfeng desperately braced himself to block. As the blow arrived, he silently activated Wood Shield. But just like before, the shield shattered, and he took the punch head-on. Chunfeng spat blood, his sword shattered, and he wheezed in disbelief. This was beyond absurd.